Welcome everyone, thank you for clicking this video and giving us a chance. I'm your host Anseki and I will provide you some Pokemon related content. Welcome to Monday, episode 2. Please note that we are in Europe, so it might still be Sunday for viewers in America when this video becomes available, but I assure you that it's already Monday here in Europe. Of course, for this video, this surely isn't the case as we are a bit behind schedule now, but I felt like adding this little info just so you know. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about the idea how legendaries, more specifically the 3 legendary birds of Kanto, could be added to Pokemon GO. Everyone is on edge right now, as today we will also get some information about new Pokemon actually being added to the game. The details have all been secretive till now, but we shall finally see what they came up with pretty soon. But without any further ado, let's cut to the chase. The reason I came up with this idea is that it is not all that simple to introduce Articuno, Moltres and Zapdos, as pretty similarly to the question of adding new generations to the game, it is extremely easy to completely ruin the game experience for future players. If you're interested in my idea of making that happen, I mean adding new generations to Pokemon GO as smooth as possible, please check out the previous episode, if you haven't done it already. But now, back to the matter at hand. Naturally, if the legendary birds just become normal spawns, some people will be very lucky and have a bunch of them. Which also means a ton of candy so they can power them up, while others won't even find one. Plus, these are pretty powerful mon we are talking about right now, so this would call for a special introduction, like an event of some sort, as Niantic has hinted a couple of times already. But let's just stop right there for a second. What exactly is an event? Didn't we have a Halloween event and a Thanksgiving one also? An event isn't necessarily something like in the original trailer with Mewtwo and on Times Square, right? I mean, that would also be awesome, but organizing something of that caliber takes time. So I would suggest organizing such huge-scale events only for 1 or maximum 2 really special Pokemon per generation. Obviously, Mewtwo would be the best candidate for that in Generation 1, and maybe Mew as well. But as for the 3 birds, I would like to see something like the event you already had. And here's what I came up with. To be in sync with the new Pokemon Sun and Moon, we could have trials. And here's how they could work. I came up with one for each of the 3 birds and also tried to pay attention to the fanon lore created for each team in Pokemon GO. There would be a given time, for example a week, or a bit less maybe, as we've already seen in previous events, during which the trials would be available. Since I'm a proud member of Team Mystic, let's start with Articuno. So the first time you log into Pokemon GO during the event, your team leader would greet you and say something like this. Imagine this in Blanche's voice, even though we never heard that. Hello Anseki Shoku. Of course, here everyone would have their own names, obviously. During my research, I have come across a rather unnatural phenomenon, which I have decided to investigate. I would be grateful if you could assist me. The exact coordinates do not point to a location in the vicinity of our current position, for which we shall prepare our trip carefully. After this introduction, you could either accept the trial, let's call it the trial of strategy, or something like that, or you could also decline. Should you accept, you would have to complete some tasks to pass the trial. In this instance, I thought maybe walking 100 kilometers as to symbolize the long trip, and spinning 100 Pokestops along the way would make up the trial tasks. The letters symbolizing the preparation part of the trip. Coming up with a route to be able to cover the distance and spin that many Pokestops in just a few days does require some strategy, so I think this could work out just fine. And of course, once you complete a trial and reach your destination, even though you could just walk around in circles, but whatever, the reward would be another message from Blanche. This seems to be the place. And now it is clear what caused the strange weather phenomenon. And right after you tap your screen to make the speech bubble disappear, BAM! A wild Articuno appears. And now I would like to talk about a few things in general about this idea. A trial should be available multiple times, but not endlessly. And the reasons I think this should be the case include the possibility of not getting the best IVs, or even if you don't care about those, the ideal moveset for that matter. I mean, Sure, I'd be so very happy to get an Articuno of any kind, but it'd be a bit of a bummer if I happened to get one with Icy Wind for a charge attack, instead of Blizzard, or at least Ice Beam. And this bit of a bummer would become a huge rage once I realized that this was my only chance of getting an Articuno with Blizzard. So this will never change, I only have one with Icy Wind. Hell, I evolved 3 Magikarps and I have 0 Gyarados with Hydro Pump. Sure, it bugs me a bit, but if I wanted to, I could always catch enough Magikarps and evolve another one, and hope, fingers crossed, that I finally get the moves I want. But if I only have one chance throughout the entire game, I really don't want that to happen. And just think about someone who is not playing yet. They would miss their chance to ever get an Articuno, of any kind, because, I don't know, they had to wait till Christmas to get a phone that can actually run the game. I say that would not be fair. I know that players are used to event-specific Pokémon and other Pokémon games, but listen, missing out on a Pikachu that could learn Fly, because he has balloons attached to him, is hardly comparable to never being able to complete the Pokédex. So here's my solution. The trials would be available every year. So, no spamming of Articunos, as you could only catch one every year by completing the Trial of Strategy, or insert cooler sounding trial name here. And if you missed it, there's always next year. Once you complete your own team's trial, the other 2 could also become available, or maybe they could be available as 3 separate events. Like, Articuno's trial would be available in December, and Moltres' trial will be available in July or August, maybe, something like that. Oh, and one more important thing. The capture rate of all 3 legendaries should be really low, naturally, to give you a real challenge. But it being less than 1%, I mean actually requiring a Master Ball, might be a bit too challenging, for my taste at least. But even more importantly, flea rates of these birds should be 0%. Because just imagine, you just completed the trial, you throw your first Pokeball, and Articuno jumps out and runs! No! Unimaginable. No F-shaped unknown way. That should never happen. Like, never. Plus, you're fighting a legendary bird. Why should it run? Okay, I think we should end the second episode of Monday right here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're interested in the trials of Zapdos and Moltres, leave a comment and we will make a video featuring those. Please also leave a comment if you support this idea, or even if you think that this is a stupid idea, or if you have any questions, just leave a comment. If you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, please subscribe. The support would be much appreciated. Thank you, take care, and see you next time.